Hey there, Sean Edman Sports, and uh, news came out that charges against Deandre Baker was dropped. Apparently, people were extorting him or something. For I don't know. It was a weird story. I was reading a lot of stuff that Baker was reaching out to them and trying to pay him off or whatever. What happened? Even before Baker put himself in this really stupid situation, I was already way concerned with DeAndre Baker. I made multiple videos. You can go back and watch them, anyways. But I was concerned about him. I was concerned with the reports that came out about him um, being lazy, not knowing. I mean, we all know he came out and said it. He doesn't know the playbook. Um, more than halfway through the year, he's falling asleep in meetings. Don't ask me why the coaches were allowing him to even get away with that. And I get he's a first round pick, and it hurts us that we had to cut him and go through all this. But if Gettleman and Judge are serious about this culture thing, I know he may be completely innocent, but even the previous stuff, the reports we were getting, you can't bring him back. You just got to move on. I know he had a couple of good games, but he was awful. I mean, Eli Apple was twice as good as him. He was lost. He was lost. He was lost in zone coverage. I mean, I get he's a rookie. It's maybe the second, third toughest position to translate from college, but I don't know. I don't want anything to do with it. I think the Giants should move on. Um, I really felt bad for Baker when this story came out. Like, I didn't feel bad for Baker if he did this. I really felt bad for his family because it'd come out. Well, I had read that he grew up really poor and his family had struggled and all that, and it really hurt me thinking about it, because he could help his brothers, sisters, or whatever, his mom, dad buy a house and pull his family from poverty. So I didn't feel bad for Baker from all of it, but I felt really bad for his family. Anyways, I just don't think it's right. We weren't a fit. Um, I don't see the sense in even bringing him back this year. I mean, you got COVID protocol, which is, you're going to be at least two weeks minimum, 3 weeks. We got the bye, so that helps. 2 3 weeks before you be able to come back and play. And then, I mean, he had a full off season last year, and OTAs, rookie OTAs, all that, and a preseason. And it took him 8, 9, 10 weeks to even know some of the playbook then. So I don't see where he'd be useful at all this year. Um, if they can work it out and Gentleman wants to work it out and bring him back next year, whatever, I'm not going to think he'll ever become anything good, great, or even good, honestly, because he's just so bad in zone coverage. And I know a lot of Giants fans are screaming like he's good in press, he's good in press, he's good in press, run more press. But like I was saying in the offseason, you can't allow one player out of the 11 that's on the field of defense dictate what the entire defense is going to run. That's just a disaster. And even if he was only good in zone and was horrible in press or man, we can't just run that because one player. I hope you guys understand it. I know you came out, it's come out he's innocent, and a lot of people, whatever happened, situation aside, you're probably going to like me saying I don't want him back, but I just think it was time. It's not a fit with our coach. If Sherman was still here, I guess bring him back, let him snooze half the meetings, whatever. But I just don't think it's a fit at the time. I wish DeAndre Baker well. They were saying he was looking at like 10, 15 years or whatever, so I mean, that's good for him. I hope he can. I don't think he'll be put on like the exempt list or suspended because the other guy there involved, nothing happened to him. So it's just a weird, unfortunate event, I guess. But we'll see. If the Giants don't pick him up, DeAndre goes somewhere, develops into a top 20, 30 corner. That's a mistake. But this is the thing. He's young. He's immature. And from all reports, he's really not up to studying, paying attention. And you got to be dedicated to that position. So if he comes back, think about this. Gettleman brings him back, gets another year, the off season, or halfway through next year, Gettleman's still here. Something else comes up. Another incident. Then what? I mean, then, we looked bad enough going through it. It was embarrassing going through all this shit to begin with. Now we look double stupid. If that's like a Trump word or whatever. We look double stupid. And we got egg in our face. Um, I want to talk about something else. Oh, Graham Gano. Graham Go got extended. Happy about that. 3-year, $14 million deal. I seem to like a lot of money for just like 8, 9, 10 games played. But 3-year, 14 million, 9 guaranteed. So I guess it's only 3 million guaranteed. But after the whole, here's another bummer, Aldrich Rose's situation. Hey, I mean, I think we ended up with a better kicker with Graham Gano. 20 straight field goals made. So I don't know. He's never really seemed like the kind of kicker that lets the bad, the kicks, the situation get into his head. He's always been a really great kicker. He's got the leg. I mean, certain situations, if it clears weather or if it's turf, he's got no problem kicking it from like 60, 61 yards. So, I mean, I don't know. Good deal. Because Aldrich Rose's year before last, he was great. He made so many good. He was just what I think he was like making 20 plus kicks in a row, like Graham. But the last season, Roses was really not very good. And every time it got to the point to where like I didn't even want him back this season anyways because it was just nerve wracking every time he was out there, and it just wasn't good. Somehow, who would have thought it? We ended up with a better kicker, and congratulations to Gano because I know a couple of years ago he had broke his leg or fractured his leg or something, and he was out of football for a while, year and a half, I believe. And the Panthers just straight up cut him. It is what it is. It's you need a kicker. You can't wait a year and a half for a kicker to come back. You got to move on. But just great story all around, I guess, to kind of uh, put a good twist on the Deandre Baker story. But I was over talking to my man Hub, well, in the comments section, and when these kids go through this draft process, they are sat down by multiple people, and they talk to people, not necessarily Michael Vick, but people like Michael Vick, and people who went through these bad situations, and they sit through hours and hours and hours and multiple meetings and seminars, whatever you want to call them, where these ex-players warn them. And they tell them, they warn them about these situations, whether did anything or not. They explain to you things you shouldn't do, that because your life is going to change overnight. It's like you hit the lottery. You're a millionaire, so your lifestyle has to change, and that's another thing. It appears like he's innocent, but it's just if you're even around anything gambling and guns and drugs or whatever kind of people these are, you're putting yourself in a bad situation. It's still like the stuff Odell look, letting people pull out their cameras, taking pictures of drugs, and just stupid stuff. We don't need that. I know these guys are young; they're coming out 20, 21 years old. But you have to change. You have to change your life. This is not just working at the postal service. This is a different job. You are a reflection of the entire organization. Whether you like it or not, it's unfair. It's unfair. And yeah, these kids should be able to go out and have fun. But this is the world we live in nowadays. And they're made well aware of it when they come into the NFL. So, I think I've talked enough about it. Last video I made about Deandre Baker, I said I'd never talk about him again, but it was looking bad for him at the time. I don't know. That's all I got to say. I don't want him back. If Gettleman comes back next year, if you want to bring him back to start out the year, go ahead. I'd honestly we're probably going to draft a corner, bring another corner. I'd be surprised if he made the team. I mean, that's what I think of DeAndre Baker at this point. Anyways, I hope y'all don't get mad at me. That's probably not a popular opinion. Stay safe, everybody. Like and subscribe.